L'Econergy Tour.
After the solar caps melt and the ocean's another foot or two higher and anybody living along the coast is flooded, damaged, do we have to wait for that, or do you think something else can push us forward on this?
I mean, I really think we have to act anyway, because when we talk about, we could talk about money and energy is not only, we could think about climate change and, you know, global issues and saving the world. That's one point of view. But one another, which is maybe more American, but maybe more realistic, it's about money. I mean, energy is money, and you can save a lot if energy is, you know, in your own apartment. And I think that's one, we talked about economics, but we could talk about cultures. And I really think that for most people, energy is not that expensive. But you saw that, I mean, it was in 2007, you know, with the big oil. And people realize that there is a cost. And it's saving energy too, it's saving money. And if they think about themselves, they could do something. And about energy efficiency, there's a lot to do here and everywhere.
Well, of course, it's much more expensive. You know, I believe energy is much more expensive in Europe, as well as food is, and a number of other things. Has that helped to kind of turn the tide there? That people start to, whoa, you know, if we don't do something, it's going to cost us even more?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. For example, you know, when you talk about industry and things like that, you talk about payback. And when you've got less than maybe 2 years payback, you know, people, they invest. So if the price of the energy is higher, of course, they will do something. And yeah, so of course, it's helping. But, you know, yeah.
And we've got just a few minutes left. Again, for our viewers, if you're just joining us, Julien Serrault is here from France as part of the Econergy Tour, talking about and thinking about climate change, what's happening not just in this country, but throughout the Western Hemisphere, and what applications may apply in other parts of the world. Here tonight on Talk the Neighborhoods, is spending a few days in Boston on his way south. Tell us about the tour. Where are you going? Where do you hope to go? I understand this will take you the better part of 3 years to complete. Where do you hope to travel to in that time?
Well, I told you about the travel at the beginning, and it's part of the trip. And first, when I moved to Montreal, I built everything, and the idea of the project was to drive from north to south. Actually, I don't have any car, but I will buy one because you know, you don't need any car in Boston, and you know, you can, you know, I rode my bike tonight to come here. And so I will buy a car, and the idea was to cross over USA from east to west, and then from west to south. Yes, north to south, you know, till San Francisco, and then to go to Mexico. And one of the goals of the project, I mean, I'll be there, so I mean, it's a good idea for me to go to Mexico, to Cancun, Mexico, because the next World Conference about climate change
is taking place there.
Exactly, in November, late November, beginning of December. So it's going to be part of the trip, and then, you know, Central America, and then South America. But the idea of the project as well is, I mean, it will depend of who I'm going to meet, and, you know, and changes on the way too. You know, I don't want to say I'll be there at that date.
Right.
You know.
Well, it's a and ultimately, though, if I understand correctly, you're hoping to get as far south as Argentina, Chile, down in that area.
Yeah, the idea is Punta Arenas, Chile. I mean, this is one of the most of the south.
And you know, what will you do with your findings that you accumulate on the way? What do you hope to do with it in the end?
There is a website about the project, and basically it's hard because from the beginning I built the project by myself. You know, I did everything with my hands, and so I understood that it would be really hard for me to do everything in 3 languages. So most of the work I do, it's for France. you know. And what I'm trying to do is to, each time I meet someone or each time I do a site visit, I do a quick resume, sum up, that I post on the website, and that people can see what, you know, I'm doing in different point of view. But which is very interesting, but it's just the beginning. If when I meet someone here on the ground, when I'm gonna meet someone in Mexico, I could talk about him, about what's going on in Montreal, what's going on in Boston, and they could be interested in too. You know what I mean? It's you know, it's the other part of my job doing that. It's my commitment as a citizen, trying to do something. It's just to maybe make people aware or more aware with what I could do about these issues.
Well, we all have our own medium or means of trying to communicate it, as I do here. I want to wish you the best of luck. I want to thank you so much for coming in and joining us. Again, Julien Sereau is from France, of course, and here as part of the Econergy tour from Montreal ultimately to Argentina, talking about, learning about the impact of climate change and how different locales are dealing with it. You know, should plenty more people talk to here. It's very interesting people involved in this issue, and we're hoping to see and hear more. I want to wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
L'Econergy Tour.